name is Jimmy, and I am a board game designer in the business since 1997. Started with my own game called MyEG, which was actually a game I designed for my daughter when she was only about 4 years old, back in 1978. After she grew up, I didn't use the game anymore, and it was only in 1995 that I decided that I wanted to make this game a success. But since Malaysia was not prepared to welcome me then, I decided to go to the rest of the world, which I did, as I said, in 97, and I'm here where I am today. Okay, score. What's the score?
52.
Very smart are you, huh?
Bila kita cuba permainan dia tu, boleh kata kenapa benda ni tak ada kat sekolah aku dulu kan.
And I'm glad to say that it is today considered the very best mathematics game in the world.
Usaha tu dia tak pernah padam, tak pernah, boleh kata tak putus asa.
When you're down financially, anything else you want to do is impossible. And I had to look around and see what I could do within the area I'm in. So I look at what I was doing successfully with my daughter, because she learned math through my game as it is.
Brother.
29 lah.
Thank you lah.
This time I got 108 one. No, at his age you think that he's already on a cruise, retiring, enjoying his life, but no, look at him now, putting people like me to shame when he is still out there going around the world trying to sell his product.
In fact, my aim is to make my business Malaysia's largest manufacturer and exporter of board games ever. And I am in the world market. My product is already recognized in the world. All I need is the funding behind me to move me forward, and there's no doubt whoever is putting their money behind me is going to make money. With 500,000, I can imagine myself moving my games business within 3 years to at least something that's worth $5 to $8 million. My name is Jimmy Yeo. I run a company called EduStation Teaching Aids. I rather like to start myself by telling you what my friends call me. First, the Math Magician, because I started with a game called MyEG, and they told me there is no way that I could keep my games running for the next 2 years. Finally, when I went to the UK, I became the Math Magician, and that's a title I'm very proud of. I spent a lot of money over the years promoting my game by going all over the world, right? 3 years, especially the first 3 years, cost a lot, and I was in debt, right? So I've got to pay back my money.
So the money you're asking from us is to pay off the debt?
No more. I'm clean as it is, right? What I want to do from now is basically to move forward. Now, as you noticed, I've got a second game in front of you, Color Magic. By the way, MyEG has sold more than 90,000 sets today. All right?
What is the average selling price?
I would look at export price.
Yeah. What's
my
the
export
average
price
selling
is for my best customers, I sell it at about 42 ringgit. Right?
Do you mass produce this?
When I do mass, if I talk about mass, maximum is 5,000 sets.
Now, for me, in my mind, I'm thinking, is this an educational tool that appeals to institutions, or is this something that can go viral where children will ask their parents to buy? Is it a fun game? How fun is it?
It is definitely a fun game, right? And teachers like it for one simple reason only. They have never been able to get their children to do more than 50 questions of mathematics, the basic operations. My game is different in the sense that they get the kids to play more, in one single game, they do no less than 300 to 500 calculations, mentally, high speed.
Jimmy is fixated with his own invention. What questions awaits Jimmy?
Jimmy, you see you are moving forward.
Right.
Moving forward, the kids now are all savvy, IT savvy.
Correct.
They want it to be online, they want it to be at their desktop or their phone.
You're speaking my language now.
Okay.
Right?
So are you doing anything? Because we are not seeing it here.
Okay. I have tried to get Malaysian software guys to do this for me, and I've had enough headache from them. Enough in the sense that one meeting they'll tell you I want so much for the work. I've gone to the extent of getting them close to the lawyer's table, all written out, and then they change their terms.
So if you want to do only a deal for the digital component,
no,
only for
I'm doing
the
all.
electronic version?
I'm doing all. And my plan is to go all the way now.
No, if we are only interested in the digital component, only the digital version of the game.
Okay.
Alright? And what we invest is used only to develop the digital component. Would you be agreeable?
Would Jimmy agree if his games were fully converted into a digital board game?
And what we invest is used only to develop the digital component. Would you be agreeable?
Of course, I'll be happy to do it.
Now, how much would it cost you to develop a digital version of this game?
At the moment, I'm looking at about 100,000 minimum.
So if you do only a digital deal, then you will only need 100,000 ringgit from us.
For the startup. I still need to pay these guys to be, what they call maintenance of the game. Right? I started by trying to come up with the idea of
I don't
CD.
think this game would require maintenance. It's a one-off application development.
I would agree, but I have also plans to put the game onto iPhones.
Yeah, it will still be a one-off.
Sure, but if something goes wrong with it, who's going to be responsible for the maintenance?
It should be, when it's delivered to you, it should be bug-free, yeah?
Well, I hope so. I hope so, but let's just accept the fact that there could be a chance this happens. And I don't want that thing to happen, and I've got nobody to stand by my side.
The pitching arena is getting hotter. What will happen next?
I think what my friend's getting at is that ballpark. What we see here is obviously something that works, but we think that the physical copy, the fact that it's here is a bit disappointing because I think it's a sunset industry. Kids these days are online.
I beg to disagree with you, sir.
Digital.
I beg to disagree with you, sir. And I'll tell you why.
Are you saying that kids are not getting more digital?
Oh, no, there's nothing to do with that. Basically,
I think we agree to disagree, that's fine, but I think we are more interested in the digital version of the game.
Okay, I agree with that then. You ask me the digital, I'll give you the answer. But this gentleman has asked me about sunset industry and all that. I'm trying to explain to him.
Okay.
Very simple principle, right? Malaysia, when I first started this business, on an average...
Can I stop you there? I think let's be productive with the time we have. I think we can agree to disagree, and let's go back to the digital component, because I think that's what's more interesting.
Right.
So I'll let you sort of continue explaining what you do with that financing in terms of the digital part, and whether you'll be open for us to be involved purely in the digital aspect.
I'm open to that.
What if we only want to buy the license to operate the digital version?
I would not
We would do the application development on our own?
I would rather have it done my way. And that is, I'll accept your funds from you, your funding, I'm prepared to look at percentages and all that, but I will run the whole business.
Jimmy still insists not to sell his rights of the board game. But if he does, he wants things his way.
I mean, personally, I think we've got a possible world-class game here. It can match Sudoku in the degree of complexity and things like that. But, by you holding on to it, you're actually limiting its potential. You've got to let it go a little in order for it to unleash its global potential. You've got to think of parts to let go, and you've got to think of parts to retain.
I would agree.
And, every entrepreneur wants to do it their way, fair, but think of it as, this game deserves, to unleash its potential. Are you holding it back? That's the question I'm asking.
Well, let's put it this way. The price is not right yet.
The price is not yet right? How much is Jimmy looking at?
You can actually negotiate and get what you want.
I've started negotiating already. I've started negotiating, but...
How much would you want to sell the digital rights for? The rights to the digital version of the game?
As I said, I never looked at the selling the digital game yet because I've not even started it. Whereas
the rights to the digital game?
I have not really looked at that because I'm just starting.
Ballpark figure,
Looks like Jimmy can't even provide a value for his own invention.
You did say the right thing. How much do I want? I'll turn it the other way around. Tell me how much you're prepared to give me. And I'm prepared to discuss it with you.
You asked for 100,000?
Well, I'm looking at long term. I'm long term then. I want a percentage instead. You start it off, I'll take a percentage from you. How about that?
Jimmy turns the table around. Getting slightly aggressive, he asks the judges and investors, how much are they willing to offer him?
Alright.
We can start at a low percentage, then benchmark you up as you create better games.
Well, I'll listen to you still. You'll be sitting. I'll be sitting there. You'll be there to tell me what you want to give me then. How about that?
You have actually 2 to 3 games, right? How many?
Currently, you see, MyEG. There's a second game already, a second version, right? Which is already in the market. But I've also got 2 others that I've yet to launch. One for a younger generation, Whereas the second one will be a bit more, the third one will be a bit more complex. That's my magic.
But I think at the end of the day, Jimmy, the fundamental question that you have to address is, do you want a world-class game or do you want a world-class Malaysian company? You know, I think
I accept that.
one has more potential than
Your
the other.
advice is well taken. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared to look at where we can go from here.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jimmy managed to answer all the questions, protected his rights, and asked the judges and investors the same questions back. But the real question is, will he be in the final round?
I think it's a very good discussion there. Good ideas from them, although it's quite obvious they want to find out how they can take over the business that I have. I'm quite ready, as I said, to look at the offers, because right now they're asking how much I want. But if it's going to be the way they want the game, the business, then I'd rather turn it around to them and say, okay, how much are you going to give me? I wouldn't call it conflict. To me, it is their approach is obviously being a funder, they'll get the best out of me. And it's only right for me to see what I can get best out of them. So if there's anything, it is just discussions, right? So I like to think that I've got a product that's good enough for someone to come forward to offer me rather than me going around to beg for it. I'm prepared to let it go, right? As I said, depending on how much I can get. But if it's going to be letting go, I'm not interested in the amount. I'm prepared to let it go, provided they give me a percentage of everything.
We have seen all three entrepreneurs make their pitch. Who will convince the judges and move to the final round? We'll find out after this break.